Long ago in a small village, there lived a man called Ogakule. Ogakule was known by everyone not because he was hardworking, but because he was the laziest man in the whole land. While the men and women of the village woke up early to go to the farm, carrying their hoes and cutlasses, Ogakule would still be lying down, snoring like a big drum. His mates would sweat under the hot sun, planting yams, cassava, and corn. But Ogakule would yawn, turn from side to side, and cover himself with his old wrapper. If you passed by his hut, you would hear him mumbling in his sleep, "Let me rest small, walk, and wait." Everyone shook their heads and said, "This man will die of hunger one day." As you watch, please do not forget to subscribe to Ancestral. Truly, Ogakule was suffering. While others harvested food from their farms, he would beg for yam peels or leftover soup. Children mocked him, singing, lazy kill, too lazy to even chew." He did not care. He would laugh and reply, "Don't worry. One day my time will come." The village elders were tired of advising him. They told him, "A man who refuses to sweat will never eat sweet food." But Ogakule never listened. To him, sleeping was sweeter than farming. But unknown to him, fate was about to change his life in a way no one could believe. One hot afternoon, while pretending to fetch firewood in the bush, Ogakule's eyes fell on something strange, lying under dry leaves. His lazy life was about to take a turn that would shake the entire village. Ogakule carried a cutlass and told the villagers he was going to fetch firewood. But deep inside, he only wanted to find a cool tree to sleep under. As he walked into the thick bush, he yawned loudly and scratched his head. Suddenly, his leg hit something hard. He bent down angrily, thinking it was a stone that disturbed his rest. But when he cleared the leaves, he saw a small black pot shining as if it was calling his name. He touched it, and the pot felt warm like it was alive. Curious, he carried it home. He did not know it was a magic pot. Later that night, when he got home, he checked his pocket and found the only money he had. Just one small note. For fun, he dropped it inside the pot. Suddenly, the pot shook, and before his eyes, more money began to fill the pot until it was full. Ogakule's eyes grew wide like a lantern. He quickly grabbed the money, counted it, and rolled on the floor with joy. For the first time in his life, he felt like a king. That night, he could not sleep. He kept laughing, dancing, and even singing songs of victory. He said, "From today, Ogakule will never suffer again. Lazy man has become rich man." But little did he know the magic pot had a secret, and that secret would one day bring big trouble. From that night, Ogakule's life changed completely. Every morning, instead of going to the farm, he would lock his door, bring out the magic pot, and put one little thing inside. If it was rice, the pot would overflow with rice. If it was cloth, the pot would fill with many beautiful wrappers. Ogakule became rich overnight. He built a bigger hut, wore fine clothes, and ate meat every day. The villagers began to wonder, is this not the same lazy kill who used to beg for soup? How come he is now living like a chief? Even the children who once mocked him now greeted him with respect. The elders shook their heads in confusion. They could not understand where his sudden wealth came from. But Ogakule kept his secret well. He hid the pot in the most secret place in his room under his bed deep in the ground. Anytime he finished using it, he would cover it with cloth and push his bed over it. Nobody knew what was happening in his room. Still, in every story, there is always one person who watches closely. In Ogakule's case, it was his neighbor, Madame Ebubu. She was a sharp woman, always spying through her window, always poking her nose into other people's matters. And when she noticed Ogakule's sudden riches, her heart began to burn with curiosity. Madame Ebubu was not an ordinary woman. She was sharp, clever, and had eyes like a hawk. From her compound, she watched Ogakule every day. She noticed that he never went to the farm, yet his house was full of food, clothes, and even money. She murmured, "This lazy man is hiding something. How can a man who sleeps all day be richer than those of us who sweat in the sun?" One afternoon when Ogakule went to the market, Madame Ebubu tiptoed near his window. She peeped inside but saw nothing unusual. Just mats, a bed, and some old calabashes. She shook her head. Maybe he is using juju or stealing from somewhere. Still, she refused to give up. Every day, she watched him like a cat watching a rat hole. Sometimes she would pretend to be sweeping her yard, but her eyes were fixed on Ogakule's hut. Sometimes she even followed him secretly to see where he went. But Ogakule was careful. He never used the pot where anyone could see. Madame Ebubu grew more frustrated. "I must find out his secret," she said, biting her lip.